Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Priyam and you are watching Power of Pivots. तो जैसा कि आपने ऑलरेडी थंबनेल में देख ही लिया होगा, आज की इस वीडियो में हम कैंडलस्टिक्स और कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं. नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो क्योंकि मैं इस वीडियो में ना केवल डे ट्रेडर्स बल्कि स्विंग ट्रेडर्स और पोजिशनल ट्रेडर्स के बारे में ही बात करूंगा. इसलिए अगर अभी आप फ्री नहीं है और इस वीडियो को पूरा नहीं देख सकते तो इस वीडियो को लाइक करके छोड़ दो या वॉच लेटर लिस्ट में डाल दो और जब भी आप फ्री हो चैनल पर वापस आइए, इस वीडियो को पूरा देखिए, एंड तक देखिए एंड मेक द बेस्ट यूज आउट ऑफ दिस वीडियो. तो चलिए फिर वीडियो में आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो नाउ इफ यू आर इनटू डे ट्रेडिंग या फिर जनरली स्टॉक मार्केट को फॉलो करते हो तो आपको पता ही होगा कि जहां पर आप अपना लाइव मार्केट चार्ट्स देखते हैं वहां पे आपको छोटे छोटे रेक्टेंगुलर बॉक्सेस देखने को मिलते होंगे, कभी ग्रीन तो कभी रेड कलर के. नाउ हम इन्हीं रेक्टेंगुलर बॉक्सेस को कैंडलस्टिक्स कहते हैं और जब ये कैंडलस्टिक्स किसी दूसरी कैंडल के साथ मिलकर एक पैटर्न बनाती हैं तो उसी को हम कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न कहते हैं. इफ इट इज अ ग्रीन कैंडल देन इट इंडिकेट्स बुलिशनेस इन द मार्केट एंड इफ इट इज अ रेड कैंडल देन इट इंडिकेट्स बेरिशनेस इन द मार्केट. तो यहां तक तो बहुत सिंपल है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट कम्स हियर इज कि हमें इन कैंडल्स की जरूरत ही क्यों पड़ती है. तो उसका आंसर ये है कि कैंडलस्टिक्स आर द बेस्ट अवेलेबल इंडिकेटर अवेलेबल ऑन योर प्राइस चार्ट. नाउ हालांकि कैंडलस्टिक इंडिकेटर होती नहीं है बट मैं आपको समझाने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ कि कैंडलस्टिक्स आर द बेस्ट अवेलेबल इंडिकेटर ऑन योर प्राइस चार्ट. और जब ये कैंडलस्टिक्स किसी दूसरी कैंडल के साथ मिलकर एक पैटर्न बनाती हैं देन दे गिव अस अ सर्टेनिटी दैट द प्राइस हैज द टेंडेंसी टू मूव इन अ सर्टेन डायरेक्शन which also gives us the definition of a candlestick pattern कि कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न एक ऐसा पैटर्न है जिसके बनने के बाद मार्केट हमें ये इंडिकेशन देता है कि प्राइस जो है वो इस डायरेक्शन में मूव कर सकता है. सो देयर आर न्यूमरस नंबर ऑफ कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स दैट आर अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट, जैसे कि प्रीचिंग लाइन, डार्क क्लाउड कवर, 3 वाइट सोल्जर्स, 3 ब्लैक क्रोज, engulfing candles, rejection candles, morning star, evening star, hanging man, tweezer top, tweezer bottom. तो बहुत सारे कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स अवेलेबल ऑलरेडी हैं मार्केट में. नाउ यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम क्या है? तो प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर ये है कि इतने सारे कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स होने की वजह से जितने भी नए ट्रेडर्स होते हैं जिन्होंने अभी अभी स्टॉक मार्केट में एंट्री करी है दे ऑफन गेट कंफ्यूज कि सर हम कौन से कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स को फॉलो करें. और इनमें से कई कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न ऐसे होते हैं जो शायद ही महीने में या हफ्तों में एक बार होते हैं, जैसे ट्वीजर टॉप या ट्वीजर बॉटम एक बहुत ही कॉमन कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न नहीं है और शायद ही महीने में कभी एक बार दिख जाए. एंड दैट इज व्हाई इन दिस वीडियो आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू 3 मोस्ट कॉमन कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न्स जो आपको अपनी डेली डे टू डे ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटी में देखने को मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. दे आर द एनगल्फिंग कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न, द रिजेक्शन कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न ऑल्सो नोन एज द हैमर कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न, and the third one is the Doji candlestick pattern. So what I have done, I have made a special PPT for you all guys for the better understanding of these candlesticks, and also at the end of the video we are going to discuss some live market chart examples as well about these candlestick patterns. So just sit back and relax until we are going through our laptop screen, and now I will see you at the end of the video. Alright traders, so we are looking at the screen. So what I am going to do is we are going to start from the basics of what is a candlestick, how does a candlestick is made, what each candlestick tells us about the price, ताकि जितने भी नए ट्रेडर्स हैं या इन्वेस्टर्स हैं जिन्होंने अभी अभी स्टॉक मार्केट में अपना पहला कदम रखा है और नहीं जानते कि कैंडलस्टिक्स क्या होती हैं, कैसे काम करती हैं, कैसे हमें प्राइस डायरेक्शन जानने में मदद करती हैं, वो भी इस चीज़ को समझ जाएं और दे कैन ऑल्सो स्टार्ट देयर ट्रेडिंग करियर. हालांकि जितने भी इंटरमीडिएट लोग या फिर एडवांस ट्रेडर्स या इन्वेस्टर्स हैं जो ऑलरेडी जानते हैं बेसिक्स ऑफ कैंडलस्टिक्स के बारे में, वो इस पार्ट को स्किप कर सकते हैं. मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में या फिर टाइमलाइन के ऊपर पार्टीशन डाल दूंगा. यू कैन जस्ट स्किप दिस पार्ट एंड मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द वीडियो. सो विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी मच ऑफ योर टाइम लेट्स जस्ट गेट डिग डीपर इनटू द वीडियो. सो एज यू कैन सी ऑन द स्क्रीन, दिस इज हाउ अ बेसिक नॉर्मल कैंडलस्टिक लुक्स लाइक. सो देयर आर 2 मेन कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ अ कैंडलस्टिक. The very first component is known as the body of the candlestick, and the other most important component is known as the shadow or the wick of the candlestick. So as you can see in the picture, this green color rectangular box and this red color rectangular box, these are known as the body of the candlesticks. And as you can see, there is a very thin stick coming out of that candlestick from the top and from the bottom of the body of the candle. These are known as the shadow or the wick of the candle. Now if the shadow is at the top end of the candle, it is considered as an upper shadow or a upper wick. Whereas if the shadow is at the lower end of the candlestick, it is considered as the lower shadow or a lower wick. Now, these two are very important components of a candlestick, and every trader, every new trader should know about these two components because they give a deep amount of information of every candlestick that is being made on the price chart. So once we know what does a normal and basic candlestick looks like, the next question comes to our mind is that how these candlesticks are formed or how these candlesticks are made. So always remember, whenever the opening price is below the closing price of a candle, the candle is going to end up in making a green bullish candle, showing that the current market phase is taken by the bulls and the bulls are dominating the bears right now in the current market. Whereas whenever the market opening price is above than its closing price, this depicts that the market is in a bearish run and the bears are taking control over the market, dominating the bulls in the market right now. So once we have the answers of the questions that what is a candlestick, how it is formed and what it looks like, the very next question that comes to our mind is how to read a particular candlestick and gather as much as information available from that particular candlestick. Now, to understand this, we need to understand that there are four major components of a candle. Number one is the opening price, the closing price, plus the high and the low of the candle. Now, these four major components gives an ample amount of information to a trader about that particular candle. Let me give you an example for a better understanding of how does these all and four major components gives the indication about where the price is going. Let us take this first bullish green candle for the example. Say the market opened at rupees 100 but was unable to sustain the price, which brings the price to rupees 97 or 98, marking the low of the day, where it found the fresh buyers who were able to push the price to the high of the day at rupees 115, where again it found the sellers and gave us a closing at rupees 110. Now, the difference between the opening price and the closing price tells us that the market rallied for 10 points for the entire day, which gives that the market was in a bullish phase for the entire day and the bulls were dominating the bears in this particular market. The market hit a high of around 115 and a low of 98 to 97 for the day. Let us take another example by looking at this red bearish candle. Say the market again opened at rupees 100, make a high of 105, where it finally found the sellers who were able to push the price down, giving us a low of rupees 88 around and finally giving us a closing at rupees 90. Now the difference between the opening price and the closing price tells us the market get into a dip of minus 10 points, which indicates that the bears were taking the control of the market and dominated the bull for the entire day. The highest price touched by the market over here was 105 rupees and the lowest price touched by the market for the entire day was around 88 rupees. So by now I assume that you would have got the basic knowledge of what is a candlestick, how it is formed and how can you read the candlestick including all the four major components. So let us move to the bigger picture where we are going to discuss the three major most important candlestick patterns which happens in the market every day and you can use them in your trading arsenals to make money in the market. So the very first candlestick pattern that we are going to discuss is the engulfing candlestick pattern. Now, a engulfing candlestick pattern is a pattern जो दो कैंडलों को मिला के बनता है. The very first candlestick is a small candlestick followed by a gigantic large candlestick that covers the previous candle completely, including the entire body as well as the wick. Now, there are two kinds of engulfing pattern. First, the bullish engulfing pattern and second is the bearish engulfing pattern. Now let us first see the bullish engulfing pattern. So as you can see on the screen, this is how a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern looks like. The very first candle is a small red candle followed by a gigantic large green candle that completely engulfs the previous red candle. So now let's see what this particular candlestick pattern indicates. So it indicates that though there was a selling pressure in the stock, the bears and the sellers were bringing the price as low as was possible. Now they are getting exhausted, and finally the bulls are finally entering into the market for the very first time, taking the control from the hands of the bear to their own hands to bring the price back to its higher values again. Similar is the case with the bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. Now, a bearish engulfing candle is considered to be a true bearish engulfing bar when the very first candle is a small green candle followed by a large red candle that covers or engulfs the previous green candle completely, including its wick and the body. This indicates that though the bulls were taking the price to higher level as high as possible, now are getting weaker, and finally the bears are coming into the market for the first time, taking the control from the hands of the bulls to their own hands, depicting that the price has the tendency to go lower from now on. Always remember, if the market is moving in an uptrend and reaches a certain level of resistance and makes an bearish engulfing candle over here, then there are more chances for the new sellers to enter over here and bring the price downwards in a much more convenient way. Similarly, if the market is trading in a downward direction and reaches a certain level of support over here and makes a bullish engulfing candle, then there are more chances for the new and the fresh buyers to enter at this location and finally take the price much higher. So the next candlestick pattern that we are going to discuss is the hammer candlestick pattern. Now, when we talk about hammer, it is very important for us to understand that there are two different kinds of hammer. Number one is the hammer itself, and number two is the inverted hammer, which is just the upside down transition of the hammer. So the only difference between these two is a hammer is considered to be found whenever a downtrend is coming to an end, depicting that the buyers are now getting optimistic and can take the price to much higher level, whereas an inverted hammer is found in an uptrend, depicting that the buyers are now getting weaker and anytime the sellers or the bears can enter into the market, taking the controls from the hands of the bull. Now, generally a hammer is considered as a bullish candlestick pattern, whereas an inverted hammer is generally considered as a bearish candlestick pattern, irrespective of which color they are being formed. Always remember, the body of a hammer is very small as when we compare it to the wick of the candle. So what happens in the formation of a hammer is the market opens at a certain level and finds sellers immediately, which pushes the price to a down level where it also marks the low for the day, where it also finds the fresh and new buyers who pushes the price back to its higher value, giving us a closing above the opening price with very minimum or no higher shadow or upper shadow, also converting the candle into a bullish candlestick pattern. Now what happens in an inverted hammer is the market again open at a lower level, unable to sustain that level. The buyers bring the price or take the price to higher level where they find the sellers, and finally which pushes the price to a new lower level, giving us a closing below the opening price, converting the candle into a bearish candlestick pattern with very minimum or no lower shadow. Now the next candlestick pattern that we are going to discuss is the Doji candlestick pattern, which is of course my favorite candlestick pattern because of the simplicity that it offers. A Doji candlestick pattern is considered as an indecisive candlestick pattern because of the indecision that it creates in the market. The price opens at a certain level, the buyers push the price to a certain height, making the high for the day. The sellers pushed the price, making the low for the day, and finally the price gave us a closing near to where the market opened. Sometimes it is often seen that the close of the price and the opening of the price is almost at the same level, giving us a candlestick like this. So now let us learn about how to trade a Doji candlestick pattern. But before moving any further, let me give you a brief introduction about the different type of dojis available in the market. So there are basically three major type of doji candlesticks available in the market. Number one is the long ledge doji candle, which just look like this, as you can see over here. Number two is the gravestone doji, which also look like an inverted hammer, which has a long upper wick and a very small lower wick or no lower wick. The third is the butterfly doji, which looks like a hammer itself and have a very long lower wick and very little upper wick or no upper wick. But the way to trade every doji is same, and that is after the breakout of the high or the low of the candlestick. So now let us see some real live market chart examples as well on the live chart for the better understanding of yours about these candlestick patterns. Alright, तो जो सबसे पहले एग्जाम्पल हम देखेंगे वो होगा बैंक निफ्टी में, ताकि हमारे जितने भी इंडेक्स ट्रेडर्स हैं जो बैंक निफ्टी और निफ्टी में ट्रेड करते हैं वो लेफ्ट ओवर फील ना करें. So this is Bank Nifty on 11th of October. Let's see how the index behave on this particular day. As you can see, Bank Nifty started its day with a very big bullish green candle without giving any major pullback. The very next candle was also a bullish candle. So the Bank Nifty started its day very strongly and very bullishly without giving any major pullbacks. But then eventually there was one candle at which the Bank Nifty showed a small weakness, but the very next candle after it was followed by a big green candle, engulfing the previous red candle completely over here, which depicts the bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. One could have easily entered long after this candlestick formation was made by putting the SL just below the candlestick. As you can see, there was no looking back for the Bank Nifty from there on. Bank Nifty gave a very good more than 1:2 risk to reward ratio on this particular day. Let us see another example in HDFC. As you can see, HDFC Devil Finance started its day with a very bearish candle showing weakness at the initial stages only, giving us a small pullback over here with these two green candles. The market finally made an engulfing candle, a bearish engulfing candle over here, as you can see. Once this formation of the candlestick was made, one could have eventually gone short over here by placing the SL at the top of the candle, looking for more than 1:2 risk to reward ratio. So let us see some examples for swing traders and positional traders as well. So the very next stock that we are going to see is Britannia India, and the time frame that we are going to use is from 60 minutes to 4-hour time frame, which is basically the best suited time frame for any swing trader. Now as you can see over here, the market was already in a very good downtrend from here, from the mid of the June. The market tried to give us a small pullback from over here, which was eventually converted into a trend reversal because more than 50% of the ongoing downtrend was already erased. So any pullback now from there on was considered as a buying opportunity for the new ongoing uptrend. As you can see, there was a major pullback over here, and during that pullback, the market made a very good bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. Let's see how the stock behaved from there on. So as you can see, one could have eventually entered long over here, placing the SL just below the candle, and as you can see, the market gave us a very good more than 1:2 risk to reward ratio from there on. The total number of points that the Britannia has covered from the point that we have entered is about 537 points in just 20 days. So let us see some examples for positional traders as well. This is Bank Nifty. As you can see, the index, after making an all-time high of about 37,000, eventually started following from the mid of the Feb till the starting of the May, where it eventually made a bullish engulfing candle. One could have eventually entered long over here, placing the SL just below the candle, and let's see how the index behaved from there on. As you can see, there was no looking back for the index ever again. The market started moving in the upward direction without even giving a major pullback from the price that we have entered. Bank Nifty gave us a total move of around 6,000 points in just 172 days. So now let us see some examples for rejection candle or the hammer candlestick pattern as well. Of course, the very first example we are going to see is of Bank Nifty for all the index traders out there. This is Bank Nifty on 23rd of August 21. Let's see how the index behave on this particular day. As you can see, the market opened gap up but eventually showed some weakness within the first 5-minute candle. The market started to fall from there on, as a result of which the market fell about 650 points in just one single day. But eventually the market found support and made a green rejection candle, which is also a bullish reversal candlestick pattern. One could have eventually entered long once this hammer was completed, placing the SL just below the candle. As you can see, from there on the market rallied for about 450 points straight in just within the same day. Let us see one more example in HDFC Bank, but this time with the help of an inverted hammer. As you can see, the market opened with a inverted hammer, but because the candle over here was not a red candle, so what we will do, we'll just wait for the very next candle to form, and once the low of the previous candle is broken, we can enter short over here, just placing the SL above the candle and waiting for the market to give us more than 1:2 risk to reward ratio. As you can see, there was no looking back for the HDFC Bank from the place where we have entered. So let us see some examples for swing traders and positional traders as well. So this is Nifty in 4-hour time frame. As you can see, the market is following a very good trend line over here and is making a series of higher high and higher low. As you can see, the market is coming and touching the trend line for the third time and making a bullish reversal candlestick pattern, which can act as an anti-trigger for every swing trader in the market. keeping the SL just below the low of the candle and entering into the candle once it has made completely forming. Let's see where the Nifty moved from there on. As you can see from the place where we have entered into the trade, there was no looking back for Nifty. It went on making new higher highs and higher lows and is right now touching at rupees 18,340, giving us more than 1:4 risk to reward ratio and still counting. So now let us see some examples for positional traders as well. This is SBIN on daily time frame. As you can see, SBI after touching an all-time high of 470 rupees gave us a very good correction and finally found the support at rupees 400 where it made a bullish reversal candlestick pattern. Now although the candlestick over here is not a green candlestick pattern, so what we are going to do, we'll wait for the next few candles to be formed, and once the next few candle breaks the high of the candle, placing the SL just below the swing low, we'll enter long in this particular trade. As you can see, the very next candle itself broke the high of the candle, entering at the close of this candle, placing the SL just below the swing low, we'll enter into the trade. Let's see how SBI behaved after the entry that we have made. As you can see, SBI made a new high of rupees 490 and still counting. Now let us see some examples for Doji candlestick pattern as well. So the very first example that we are going to see for the Doji candlestick pattern is in Infosys on 17th of September 21. Let's see how the market behaved. As you can see, the market opened gap down but eventually found the fresh buyers who were able to rally the price from 1600 to about 1718 rupees, where the market finally made a gravestone doji over here. Now this can act as our entry signal. The very next candle broke the low of the gravestone doji, signaling our entry in this particular stop. One could have eventually placed the SL above the high of the Doji candlestick, entered on the very next candle and waited for the market to reward him with more than 1:2 risk to reward ratio. As you can see, the market kept on falling down after our entry price. The very next example we are going to see is for the swing traders in Tata Motors. As you can see in Tata Motors, the market was falling for more than 1.5 months and therefore any pullback was our selling opportunity. But then the market made a rally of more than 150 points, erasing more than 50% of the ongoing downtrend, indicating that the trend reversal had just happened and now any pullback is our buying opportunity. As you can see from there, the market gave us a small pullback and made a doji, a butterfly doji candlestick pattern. The very next candle after that broke the high of the doji candlestick, indicating that the bulls are now taking the controls from the hands of the bear. One could have entered on this particular candle, keeping the SL just below the low of the doji candlestick. As you can see, there was no looking back for Tata Motors from the price that we have entered, and till date our P&L would have been showing us in profit. So now let us take some example for positional traders as well in HCL Tech. As you can see, HCL Tech was falling for more than half a month until it made a bullish reversal candlestick pattern. One can eventually enter long over here, placing the SL just below the Doji candlestick and wait for the market to give us the reward back in return. As you can see, if you would have entered long over there, we would have been made a very good amount of profit. The market from the place where we have entered rallied about 452 points in just 150 days or 5.5 months. So by now I assume that you would have got the basic knowledge of how to use these 3 candlestick patterns not only in day trading but also in swing trading and positional trading. I am going to see you in the outro video now. Alright guys, so I assume that you have got the basic idea of what these candlesticks are all about and that I would have added some value to your trading. I would definitely advise you to add these candlesticks in your daily trading activity, because मैं personally इन तीनों candlestick patterns को पिछले 3 साल से यूज कर रहा हूँ and I have got very good results in my trading. So if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and also tell us on which topic you want the future videos to be on in the comment section below, and I will see you in the very next video. Until then, keep trading, keep earning.